Hello, Born Review Nation.
Nick
And Gabe. And we are here today to review a movie that we recently saw. And Nick, do you want to introduce that movie?
Gully Boy.
Gully Boy. Gully Boy.
Here we go. Boy Reviews.
Bueller. I was super excited about this because I'm an 80s child. I grew up in New York City. Notorious B.I.G., greatest rapper of all time. But, I love 8 Mile. I love a lot of those movies, compared to some of the music we're getting today. They're just brutal. But
there's still music today?
Exactly, man. Some of these rappers are atrocious, man.
Not just that. I was talking about pop. I can't stand
it's gotten bad. It's gotten bad. But I mean, it was really cool that they made this movie. And I tell you what, when I first started, just from I remember you mentioned in another video, you were like, whoever did that trailer should be fired, because the trailer kind of made it seem like it was an 8 Mile reboot. This is not an 8 Mile.
Trailer still wasn't too bad though. I enjoyed the trailer.
It did not do the movie justice though. It didn't do the movie justice. This movie was way better than that trailer. So I'll digress with you. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm trying to contain myself because I want to be somewhat mysterious here, but I absolutely love this movie 100%. I had goosebumps throughout half of the movie. I watched this movie, and at least for me, from the beginning moment to the end, no joke, no lie, I was telling myself, this is an actual phenomenal movie. This is what a movie is all about. And I had said in our trailer reaction, now you mentioned 8 Mile, I said this looks just like 8 Mile. Right? To your point. This is not 8 Mile. This is so much more. Obviously, it takes place in a different country. But when you watch this movie, you compare it to 8 Mile. 8 Mile does this, still good. It got some good raps, some good battles. And Gully Boy is it's the monster. Right. This movie is phenomenal. And my boy, Ranveer Singh, my hat is literally off to you, my friend, because you give such a performance. I'm not sure if the performance is more accentuated because I came off watching Padmavat and then watched this, right. And I'm like,
it's the same guy?
Way that's the same guy. I just saw his name. In Padmavat, he's got the beard, he's got all that kind of stuff, the eyeliner or whatever, and he busts out the eyeliner later on Gully Boy. But anyways, I couldn't believe it was the same guy. Right. This guy's performance, especially when you see him over the top in Padmavat, and I haven't seen his other movies yet, but I'm going to. This guy is phenomenal in this movie. I can't go enough. I'm going to stop talking for a second so you can, give your parts, but holy cow.
I think that as I'm watching the movie, when it first started, I'm like, okay, I'm into it. And then he's laying on the bed and that just shows you some of the reality where he's on the bed.
How ridiculous is that?
Somebody's coming to tour their house just to see, and these are like foreigners that are coming in. I think a couple English students, a couple American students are coming to tour the house to see, basically that they're living in poverty. They're like, oh, they use every single square inch or every space. That's what's so fascinating to
them.
Look
at how small this is. How many people live in here? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Go ahead and accentuate the obvious. But this American student comes in and he's got a t-shirt on with Nas on it, and Ranveer Singh says, nice t-shirt, and he's like, oh yeah, it's Nas. First of all, it's Nas, all right, it's not Nas, it's Nas. He's an American rapper, he's an icon. He's not an icon, he's a legend. First of all, he's a superstar. And then he just busts out a rap. He's like, rappers are funky musicians I be flipping and competition. I can't remember the whole line myself, but this is like an iconic Nas song, and he knows it verbatimly, word by word. And I was just like, whoa, they picked a person who in the rap, if you don't know anything about rap, there's like the holy trinity. There's basically Jay-Z, Nas, and Biggie. Period. Tupac in there for a lot of people. But I'm just saying, especially in the East Coast where they're talking about, that's where rap began. No, Ice Cube cannot be. I'm telling you.
Ice Cube.
Above Biggie and Nas? No way.
Ice Cube, as far as a writer, you gotta be kidding me.
Ice Cube is a great writer. He's a great writer.
Who was the core writer for NWA?
Ice Cube.
And then when he went off on his own, you tell me he did not have platinum after platinum record?
He had a lot of platinum albums, but what I'm saying is, if you, in the rap game, when you talk about the greatest of all time, top 5 probably, you're going to have, obviously, Biggie, you're going to have Tupac, you're going to have Nas, you're going to have Jay-Z, and you're gonna have Eminem. Ice Cube's
Eminem.
not even top 5. I'm sorry. I mean, all the Ice Cube fans are gonna kill me here, but that's just being real. In any event, I love that they went and were so authentic with who they took, and it was super cool because I'm like, okay, I didn't even know that our music translated like that in other countries. Okay, I know Dominican Republic, where my mom's from, and they listen to a lot of American music, but it's really, really close. It's in the Caribbean. A lot of Dominicans go back and forth, a lot of Puerto Ricans go back and forth, but now we're talking about a separate continent, the other side of the world, and to know that music is that powerful and that it translates all the way over there and affects their culture, it was amazing. So I was really excited about that.
But it's the same, I feel like here in America, soccer, we call it soccer. I know you guys call it football. Everyone else does. We call football soccer because we have American football. If you're a true soccer fan, there's no way, if you're a true soccer fan, there's no way you don't know about football and you don't know about Barcelona and you don't know about the Premier League, you don't know about all the different countries in Brazil and whatnot and their football teams. There's no way you don't know because you're a true fan of that thing. And he obviously is a true fan.
Right.
And, American media, American music and movies, it is all around the world. It is accessible around the world. There's so many opportunities for American artists, so to speak, that it would make sense that he would know about it. But it was a quick, simple, brilliant way to show us, the viewer, that Gully Boy, that Murad was a true fan of rap, and that he had done his homework and that he had remembered greatness when he'd heard it.
Right. And I mean, I tell you what, I think that one of the things about this movie, and again, I love movies that have a lot of social commentary, and I knew that there was a caste system in India, but I didn't realize to what extreme, where there's the one scene that he's a driver because his dad is injured, and that's his dad's job as a driver, and
call him a servant.
A servant, basically. He's a driver, and he's driving around this rich, affluent family, and the dad is arguing with the daughter about something in the back, and he asks the driver, Murad, he says, what's your what's your level of education? And he goes, oh, I'm 1 year away from graduating university, sir. And he goes, you want to have the same education as that guy? So dismissive.
Even this guy has an education. Yeah, you don't?
So dismissive, so disrespected. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe this. And then it's like, what, you go to university to be a driver? Are you kidding me? And it's like, well, in certain societies, and like you said, in that caste system, just because you get an education, you can't work your way out of some positions. His dad even tells him that at some point. Like, this is, I'm a driver. You're going to be a driver. That's all you're ever going to be. And his uncle's like, well, you can be a salesman. But 4 years of university,
is a huge step up.
Yeah, that's a huge step up. I mean,
I was having a conversation with one of our viewers for a comment because they mentioned the caste system on a different video that we had a reaction for.
Right.
And I asked him, I said, how prevalent is the caste system right now in India? And he says it's not as much as you would think. He said there are still some places and some cities that do have that, and it's pretty dominant. But he said where he grew up, he never even knew it existed. He was surprised that it still did. And so in most places, they don't really have that caste system. But it looks like where this takes place, where Murad lives, like you said, obviously it does. And that for me was really interesting to learn that aspect of Indian life. And we have poverty here in America too.
Right.
I'm not trying to say we don't, but it does look different. They were able to maximize the amount of space there. They had grandma, they had mom, they had new mom, they had brother, sister, they had everyone living there. You have Murad, who is a senior in college, living at home, eating dad's food, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it really, really showed how important family is. And even if me and mom don't even like each other anymore, right, I'm still taking care of her, even though she's doing my new wife's dishes. I mean, there's so much we can talk about this. But one of the things I love about this movie, besides the amazing acting of Ranveer Singh, I can't talk enough about how awesome this guy is. To be able to just be an awesome actor is one thing. I will never be an actor. But to be able to make it believable that you are being one of the best rappers in your town, in that area, I mean, this guy can literally rap. This guy, he has the movements and he has the jive and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what can this guy not do? It's unbelievable. So the acting is phenomenal, but it's the story, it's the journey Too many times have I seen the underdog story, and I love myself an underdog story. That's why I love Rocky so much. You have the underdog story. This guy doesn't even know how awesome he is, doesn't have the confidence, but he likes to write. He gets his opportunity, but they do it, in my opinion, in a realistic way. When they show that journey from starting at the street, Gully Boy, to where he gets to that rap battle competition, I mean, everything progresses in what I would say, it's still a film, but in a natural progression, and that's what I loved about how the director, the writer of this film, I love writers in films, they don't get enough credit, how they paced the movie perfectly, and they kept it in that realistic grounding area where we can buy everything that we're seeing. It was awesome. I love the Cher character that he meets, the other rapper that he looks up to, and then you see as the movie goes on, they're at the same level, and then Gully Boy goes above him, and Cher's okay with that. Doesn't mean Cher is garbage,
right.
But not every really talented rapper is going to make it at some point.
Right. And I think that the movie hit on some of those, small nuances that you only know if you're really in the rap scene or really into the music and into the culture. There's a difference between being a poet and a rapper and then being a battle rapper. And you saw that the first time he went out there, he absolutely got crushed. He got choked. He couldn't even, get any lines out because he was more of a thinker. He was a poet. But as far as like going toe-to-toe battling, just going ahead and using whatever's there, he wasn't good at that. But Cher said, hey, I've read your stuff. It's awesome. You just got to get a little bit more confidence, and kind of coach them through how to do it, because he saw the talent, like, wow, this is deep. And it was funny. He was like, well, I want you to read it. I want you, you to rap it. And he goes, if you wrote it, you wrote it, you rap it. And he was like, I don't think I have the confidence. And then he says that line.
If you can't rap it, it's not good enough.
Yeah, if you can't rap it, then it's not good enough. And then Cher says something to the effect of, he says, I'm not comfortable enough. And he says, if everybody in the world was comfortable, we'd have no rappers. Because normally in the rap community, most of those people come from poverty, come from lower socioeconomic status. And that's why they're willing to put themselves out there and get ingrained into this culture that it's not easy to make it in. So I love that part about it. Again, they did their homework. There's a difference between a battle rapper. There's a difference between a poet, a guy that can just make hits like a Jay-Z.
But even with that being said, I watch 8 Mile, and I agree with you that, there's some people that are just really quick and witty. In this movie, I really liked how Cher also gave him the advice that you've got to do your homework. You've got to put time into it. Write down certain insults, if you will, or disses in a battle that you'd share. Have those prepared beforehand, and then when you have that opportunity with who you're battling, what's being said, then go ahead and use it. And I don't want to keep talking about 8 Mile. Like I said, Gully Boy is a much better movie, but that is one thing that Rabbit, the character, does in 8 Mile. He knew what was the worst insults they can give him that's going to get the biggest applause, and so he decided to turn the tables and, I am this, I am this, I am this. Now you got nothing else you can say about me. And so that was cool about the battle part. I absolutely loved the character of the female Brit, I think she was British, who was an actual music producer. She had a little bit of a budget, a little bit of money. She was successful. I love that character, not because of what happened with her character and Murad, but because I love the music video they created.
Right.
That music video, I mean, I have it in my mind where they're doing the Gully.
That was really cool.
I love that music video because, again, the realistic part of, they had the camera train tracks and they had this or that, but they shot it right. She's like, no, we're going to shoot it right there in your home. We're going to shoot it in your backyard.
Right in your backyard.
With your people, it's going to be awesome. They gave him, kind of stereotypical jumpsuit that he's wearing. They did his hair up, and I didn't really love his hairstyle too much. I thought, it's not really the best. But again, put some gel in his hair. Let's make it a little different. Let's make him seem a little more confident. I don't know why, but I love that music video. For me, you take away that music video scene, and it's still awesome. But for me, that just brings it up so much higher. And what about his girlfriend, Safina?
Safina was awesome.
Isn't she amazing?
She was a strong character in her
Holy
right.
cow!
And I love the fact that in this society where women are supposed to be silent, and she doesn't play second fiddle to anybody, and she doesn't take any nonsense. And you learn that about her early on.
But at the same time, she's also vulnerable.
She
shows her vulnerability when they break up.
Right.
And I mean, she goes as far as how she goes, where she's gonna marry his best friend or one of his best friends.
Right.
The same kid who called her hot earlier. Oh, you think I'm hot, really? I love that character.
She did a really good job. I really think that the biggest thing about this movie is that it took an entire, you looked at not just the rap scene, but you talk about how his dad was so opposed to him that, you know, he hits him, he strikes him when he finds out he's in a video. Violent. And then at the end it comes around full circle and said, like, look, if this is what really makes you happy and you're successful at it, his dad's at his concert at the very end, crying in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, there had to be at least 30,000 people, if not more. I mean, it looked like a really, really big venue. But, you know, it's like, it gives you that same message that I got from Three Idiots, where it lets you be happy with what you're doing. Especially if you're going to work that hard, go 4 years to university to just be a driver. Well, I might as well shoot my shot if that's the case. You know what I mean? Because
that's true. But if you look at the dad's point of view, he wasn't going 4 years to become a driver. He was going 4 years for that chance to work with his uncle or a job like that, and he was able to get it. He was able to start off at a higher class job than his dad. His dad went about it a way I would never go about it. I'm not a striking type person. I'm not a violent person. I get angry like anybody else. But I can see it still coming from a protective thing where I want the best for my son, and I know how hard it is out there. And you're really going to rap after I spend all this money? We don't have a lot of extra money. Right. You're going to become a rapper? Really? How successful is that going to become? But then again, like you said, at the end, I mean, I love that the character had the tears because he knew, holy cow, look at how good this guy is. Look at how transcendent this guy is.
And I think that was awesome. You know, the biggest thing for me is, again, the social commentary of being happy with who you are, whether it's a rapper. And later on at night with the British girl, the producer, where they're out and they're like,
Sky, right?
Sky, they're out and they're vandalizing stuff. But, you know, there's the imagery of the really skinny models, and then they draw the hamburger in her hand and says, "Eat me" or "Eat something, please." And then there's a makeup board there, and then they cross over, and it's like, brown is beautiful. Like, just be happy with who you are, be happy within yourself, and that's really, I think, the bottom line. In his mind, in his heart, he was an artist. The fact that this guy studied one of the most influential rappers of all time, knew that line for line, this was his destiny. This is what he wanted to be. So he was being true to himself. You know what I mean?
But again,
I think that was the message.
I love the pacing. I love the story. Too many times we see these underdog stories or these biopics, if you will. This is not a biopic, but where they start off where they're already getting some traction, and let's just get all into the drama. Let's get to the bad stuff they do, and then they overcome at the end. This movie takes us from the very beginning where he's got the talent, but he has no idea where to go with it. Mm-hmm. He meets the Cher character. He gets some advice. I can't say how many times I love this movie. I love this movie. One of my favorite things about it is how you have, in this lower caste system, that his Safina, you know, they had to hide the relationship because there's no way her father, the doctor, was going to allow her to date, you know, a driver's son. But this generation, trying to follow in their parents' footsteps for the right reasons. They wanted to be educated. She wanted to be a surgeon. Okay. But also wanting to be themselves and live their life their way. You know their parents lived their life their way at a certain point. Right. You know, I mean, this is not Amish country. You know their parents had some parties or this or that. And so I really like that element of these people, these educated young adults who are still trying to find themselves. So she takes off her formal wear when she goes out with her friends because, you know, that's not really her. She wants to be normal, so to speak, or whatever. And for me, I thought it was all authentic. I love authentic stories, and this movie gave an authentic story. This was a powerful movie. When he goes to that top 5 battle near the end, I love how he is those two characters at first. You know, I'm really nervous up here. I really appreciate you guys coming. I can't believe where I'm at. I'm not sure how I'll do, but here we go. Music starts, and he just turns into Gully Boy, and he just starts going off, and he gets the megaphone, he's getting into it, and he even shares like, whoa, look at what this guy's doing.
Like, he's going
on. He has arrived. Right. And that was, again, Ranveer Singh. I know you like Amir Khan. I love Amir Khan. Yeah. Ranveer Singh just blew him out of the water. This guy is an unbelievable actor.
He is a great actor.
I cannot wait to watch Bajiro Mastani. It's not available unless I get the Eros streaming service, which I'm not going to get right now, so that's a bummer. but I'm checking out more of his movies because this guy is unbelievable.
He's definitely talented. And I think, again, the authenticity of, I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up amongst a generation of kids that all wanted to be rappers. And that exactly what he did in that car where he's going off and he's rapping, he's rehearsing. That's what you saw these guys doing in their rooms or doing in the hallways in school or in the bathrooms. So I thought it was so authentic. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you would practice. That's how you would prepare. And I think that, again, the biggest thing for me is that this movie was culturally important, and they really touch back to, like, right now, one of the biggest complaints, and I tell my son who's 19 in college and my other 15-year-old son, I'm sorry, the music you guys listen to today is garbage. This is not rap. This is not. And I talk about artists that I used to listen to, like Tupac, like Nas, like the Notorious B.I.G., and tell them this is what real rap was. If you want to listen to real rap, this is what real rap was. So I'm glad that Gully Boy, which wasn't released that long ago, picked a really iconic.
This year, 2019.
2019, they picked an iconic rapper, which is real rap, not some of this. And I think they even make fun of it, make light of it in the movie where he was like, most of these rappers these days is just, here's my cars, this is how many girlfriends I have, this is how many mansions I have this many millions. What? That's not rap. Are you kidding me? Like, say something important.
I mean, there's some modern day rappers I really like Wiz Khalifa. I love his raps. I really do. Black and Yellow took me forever to find out that was about a car, for crying out loud.
Right.
And he does talk about the stereotypical things, but he's so charismatic when he puts his flows together. But let's get into our grade for Gully Boy, or else we're going to be talking about this for 45 minutes. I'll let you go first.
Gully Boy. Okay, Gully Boy, I tell you what. We talked about this, and I went in expecting basically a remake of 8 Mile, and I got a film way better. So I'm going to give Gully Boy an A. Absolutely. I'm going to give it an A. And for those kids that doesn't matter if you're in India, United States, watch. That's what real rap is, and that's where it needs to get back to. And I forgot to talk about this when they were talking about rap. He's not talking about things that aren't real for him. He's not talking about airplanes or G5s or Rolexes. He's talking about the slums. Gully Boy. That's why he's from the slums. He's seen poverty, so that's why his rap is so impactful, because he's doing what real rappers started doing, which is just basically reporting the real news, the ghetto news as they used to call it, what's happening in their life. It's authentic. Not, I have 36 cars, 82 Rolexes, stop that. That's garbage. So I'm so happy this movie came out. I'm going to give it an A. What do you think?
I'm about to blow his mind. But first of all, let me give my grade. All right. Easily an A+. Easily an A+. Honestly, I'm going, maybe I never got me for A++, but easily an A+. There is nothing wrong, in my opinion, with this movie whatsoever. The acting is unbelievable, and it's not just Ranveer Singh, but he does put on a clinic. The writing is phenomenal. I can't imagine having to make a great movie and a movie that has believable raps in it. Once the movie was over, I woke up the next day and I started watching the videos on YouTube, not knowing the words, but just loving the songs. Came out in 2019. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
I believe that this is my favorite movie so far in 2019.
Wow.
That's right. It moved out of the way Avengers Endgame easily.
Wow.
It moved out of the way Joker, which I just saw recently.
Wow.
This is honestly one of my favorite new films. I can watch this time and time again.
Oh, it's super
Thank
catchy.
you so much, whoever was the first few to request Gully Boy to us. The trailer looked cool. But man alive, we are so lucky to be introduced to this Indian cinema and have it, I'm pointing this way because that's where my TV's at, have it on TV, Netflix, or Amazon. Thank you so much. Gully Boy, unbelievable.
You know what? I'm gonna have to get it. Hopefully, it's available on iTunes. But yeah, that Gully Boy, Gully Boy. I mean, it is a hot song. That is something you could definitely hear on the radio, and it would be on the loop. The regular airplay where you hear that every fifth song
but
or every 10th song.
You've got to watch the movie first to really respect.
Yes,
how awesome
you do. You got to watch the movie first before you listen to the song. But it was awesome. But guys, until next time. Don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe. Leave us some more. Again, we're just reviewing movies that you guys suggest to us. So go ahead and leave us some more comments, some more. We still have a long list to get through.
There are some more Gully Boys out there. You gotta tell me today.
I think there's only one Gully Boy out there, man. One Gully Boy out there. Man. But until next time, Gabe,
Nick,
and
Gully Boy.